My husband told his mom I was crazy, so I let them talk, installed a baby monitor, and walked out with receipts. Last night I threw a plate of chicken parm into the trash, didn't even take the foil off. Just stared at it for a moment and dropped the whole steaming thing in. My husband's mother was in the next room and I think she saw it. I hope she did. He didn't lift a single finger for that dinner. I was lying on the bathroom floor 20 minutes earlier, trying not to black out from the post-infusion crash, literally dragging myself upright by the sink just so I could set the table. And when I couldn't. When my knees gave out and I curled up on the bath mat trying not to vomit. He told her she's got a lot of problems. That's all he said. To his mom. About me. She's got a lot of problems. So I threw out the dinner. But that's not how this started. It started with the office. Our spare bedroom, his little digital garbage dump. Cables, receipts, half-open Amazon boxes, old socks, a single shoe, 6 mugs with varying levels of mold. That room had become a monument to his neglect and his mother was flying in to stay there. He told me he'd clean it. He didn't. Instead, he went to bed early the night before after ordering pizza and leaving the empty box in the hallway. I was on my knees at 3 a.m. with a fever and a nosebleed, scrubbing the corners of a man-child's chaos so his mommy could be proud of him. I have progressive MS. Last week I had a medical infusion that left me shaking and nauseated. The doctor said rest. Rest. But I spent 48 hours prepping the house for this woman, dusting blinds, vacuuming under the couch, laundering her favorite sheets. He didn't notice. She arrived wearing perfume that always gives me migraines and hugging me like I was a wet tissue. I smiled anyway. I even helped carry her luggage upstairs while he debated fantasy football trades on the couch. And still, I tried to make a good impression. I tried. But now she looks at me like I'm lazy. Because he tells her nothing. Or worse, he tells her just enough to make me sound like a hypochondriac with a martyr complex. She's got a lot of problems. That's what she hears. So when I went to bed early instead of making meatloaf, she didn't ask if I was okay. She just clucked her tongue and started washing the dishes with this tragic little sigh like she was being forced to clean up after a guest who overstayed her welcome. I heard them talking in the kitchen. I always hear them. She's just tired again, he said. You know how she gets. And she responded, maybe you need someone more stable. That's when something inside me broke. It wasn't rage. Not yet. It was quieter than that. Like a dislocation. I walked into the living room, picked up the remote, and turned off the TV while they were watching it. Didn't say a word. Just looked at him, then at her. Then I went to our bedroom, shut the door, and locked it. He tried knocking 20 minutes later. I said, we're done. He laughed. He actually laughed, this bitter, confused little scoff like he thought I was bluffing. Like he couldn't imagine a world in which I'd leave him because what would I even do without him? I didn't answer. I just texted him, you'll be out after your mom leaves. Start packing. Then I went silent. That was yesterday. Today I haven't spoken a single word. He tried playing nice this morning, offered to bring me tea. I told him to leave it outside the door. He left it on the floor, cold. Never came back. I've been lying in bed, phone face down, watching the light change on the ceiling like it's the only honest thing in this house. I keep thinking about the way he looked at me when I told him we were done. Not sad. Not angry. Just inconvenienced. Like I was a plumbing problem. Like his wife, the woman he vowed to care for, had turned into an annoying bill he forgot to cancel. And the worst part? I feel guilty. I feel guilty that his mom is here, that I'm making a scene that I didn't wait a week or a month to finally break. But then I remember the office. The dinner. The words. She's got a lot of problems. Yeah. One of them is him. Update 1. I came out of the bedroom last night at 2:13 a.m. I know the exact time because I checked the stove clock while pouring water from the filter he never refills. The house was dark, silent, too still. I half expected her to be asleep on the couch, but she wasn't. Neither was he. They were in the kitchen, whispering. I stood just outside the archway, hidden, holding my glass, listening. She always does this when she doesn't get her way, his mother said. You remember high school? She used to fake asthma attacks when she didn't want to go to church. That wasn't me. That was his ex-girlfriend from over a decade ago. He didn't correct her. He said she thrives on drama. I think she likes being sick. It gives her something to talk about. I dropped the glass. It didn't shatter, just thudded to the floor and rolled under the counter. They both jumped. I walked in barefoot, picked it up, filled it again, and said nothing. Just drank, then went back to the bedroom. This morning she was making pancakes like nothing had happened. The smell made me nauseous. Butter, syrup, eggs too rich for my stomach right now. She offered me a plate with this wide, empty smile. I'm not hungry, I said. Her face collapsed like I'd insulted her entire bloodline. She made a show of scraping my plate into the trash while humming. He didn't look up from his phone. I spent the rest of the day curled on the couch with the heating pad pressed to my spine. My legs are starting to tingle in that way that means another flare is coming. I told him. He nodded, said, just rest, and then asked his mom if she wanted to go shopping. They left. When they got home, they were laughing. I think he bought her a scarf. She showed it to me like a trophy, said, isn't it lovely? I nodded. Later, I found the receipt on the counter. $164. Our joint account. He didn't even ask. I don't know how to describe the feeling. It's not betrayal. That word is too clean. It's more like being erased in real time, like watching someone paint over your life with primer. Tonight I found the journal I forgot I kept. Stuffed under the bed, pages wrinkled, ink smeared from when my hand used to shake too much to write. I opened to a random page. February of last year. He told me I make things up. That I remember things wrong. That I exaggerate. He said maybe I need medication. I asked which kind. He said, whatever makes you normal again. I don't even remember writing that. But it sounds like him. I showed him the page once. I remember now. He laughed. Said, if you're gonna journal, at least spell my name right. I feel sick. I'm not sleeping. Every time I close my eyes, I hear them whispering. I think they want me to snap. That's the real goal. Make me crack, scream, become the unstable wife they can blame everything on. But I won't give them that. No more breakdowns. No more tears in public. No more explanations. Tomorrow, I'm calling a lawyer. I don't care if it's messy. I don't care if she's still here. I want him out. I want this over. I'll figure out the rest from there. But right now I'm sharpening my silence like a blade. And the next time he tries to tell her I'm crazy, I hope she looks into my eyes and realizes. He never broke me. He just underestimated how long I'd survive without him. Update 2. He changed the guest Wi-Fi password. I only noticed because I got booted off during a telehealth appointment. The signal dropped mid-sentence while I was explaining my numb fingers to a woman I've never met, her face flickering into static like a ghost trying to leave the screen. It wasn't a glitch. I checked the router. Different network name. Different password. When I asked him, he shrugged. Didn't think you'd be using it much. I have progressive MS and can barely get out of bed. The main Wi-Fi is across the house and barely reaches the bedroom. He knows this. He knows everything. I think that's what makes it worse. This is not forgetfulness. Not carelessness. This is curated cruelty. The kind that hides behind technicalities. That same afternoon, his mom knocked on the door with a small tray, tea, toast, and a single flower in a bud vase. I thought it was an apology. I really did. My body betrayed me. I sat up, smiled, said thank you. She smiled back. Then she said, you know, maybe once you're feeling better, you can take a walk outside. Sunlight might help your mood. I asked her if she knew what a demyelinating flare was. She blinked. I said, it's when your immune system attacks your own nerves. Makes walking feel like dragging dead limbs through fire. She set the tray down and left. Fast. Later that night, I found my heating pad unplugged. The cord was looped neatly around it like a ribbon. I haven't touched it since. Instead, I spent 4 hours writing the timeline. Every moment. Every lie. Every little death he fed me over the years. It reads like a documentary now. Footnotes. Dates. Symptoms. His replies. A mosaic of soft erosion. I'm formatting it like a report. Because I've started emailing it to myself. Daily. Just in case. I know that sounds paranoid. Maybe it is. But part of me, some screaming little voice deep in the back of my skull, keeps whispering that this house is no longer safe. That he's not just going to leave quietly. Especially now that I've told him I spoke to a lawyer. He said lawyers cost money. Then he added, our money. I reminded him I had my own account. He smiled. Like I was adorable. Like a child threatening to run away with Monopoly money. Where would you even go? He asked. And that's when something snapped for real. I said, wherever you're not. I said it quietly. Not as a threat. As a fact. He hasn't looked me in the eyes since. Today, his mom invited a neighbor over for tea. I overheard them through the vent. She's always been sensitive, she said. Bless her heart. You know how it is with these new diagnoses. Everything's a crisis. I am 33 years old. I've been managing this disease for 5 years. There is nothing new about it except for the part where I stopped hiding how bad it is. She's staying another week. That was the final surprise. He told me over dinner. He had the gall to make himself a full plate and offer me nothing. She wanted to extend her trip, he said. I told her we'd love that. We. He used that word like I'm still a partner in this home. I smiled. I said she can stay as long as she likes. Then I excused myself, went upstairs, and opened the storage closet. I pulled out the old baby monitor we used when I was post-surgery 2 years ago. The one he forgot we still had. It's audio only, but the range is perfect. I placed the base in their guest room while she was out walking. She won't see it. It's behind the curtain rod. The receiver is next to my pillow now. Because if they want to whisper, so can I. This is not paranoia anymore. It's preservation. And the next time he says I'm crazy, I'll have proof of how sane you have to be to survive a house designed to erase you. Update 3. Last night, she opened my mail. Not even subtle about it. She left the envelope half-torn on the kitchen table, my name clearly on it, bold, black ink. It was from the infusion center. Insurance summary. I asked him if she did it. He didn't even blink. She thought it might be a bill. I stared at him. You think that makes it okay? He laughed. Like I was overreacting. Like privacy is a favor, not a right. Why does it matter? He said. It's not like it's a secret. You talk about your illness all the time. All the time. As if I enjoy discussing what it feels like to lose control of my own legs. As if describing my symptoms isn't already a kind of slow-motion shame. That's when I realized this house is no longer mine. It's a stage. And I'm the joke everyone's tired of hearing. I left the room. Not stormed, left. Quietly. Calm. I didn't eat dinner. I didn't respond when she tapped on the door to offer me a slice of cake she'd made special. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I packed. Small things. Silent things. Essentials. Phone charger. Laptop. My medical file binder. Toothbrush. 1 pair of jeans that still fit. 3 soft shirts. The pink one with the paint stain I wore the night he proposed. I kept it for contrast. Because tomorrow morning I'm going to my sister's. He doesn't know. She lives 1 state over and we haven't spoken much since our falling out years ago, something petty about a wedding invite. But I called her tonight. I told her everything. All of it. In one long, shaking monologue. And she said, come. Now. Not, why didn't you tell me sooner? Not, that doesn't sound like him. Just come. That broke me more than anything else this week. Because it made me remember who I was before this house, this body, this man. Before the guilt wore me thin. Before I started apologizing for taking up space. I wrote him a note. Not a dramatic one. Just the facts. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. Don't call. Don't come looking. The lawyer will be in touch by Monday. I slid it under his keyboard, right next to the mouse he never cleans. He'll see it when he logs on to play that stupid war game he never shuts up about. I wanted to hate him. I really did. But what I feel now is something worse. I feel indifference. Which means I'm free. But before I leave, before I put this house in my rearview mirror, I need to tell you what I found. The baby monitor? It worked. Too well. They've been planning something. Not dramatic. Not criminal. Just cruel in a precise, bureaucratic way. She told him in one hushed conversation I recorded, you should talk to a lawyer. If she gets worse, you could get power of attorney. Start documenting her behavior. If you play it right, you can make her look unstable. He said nothing at first. Then, wouldn't be hard. She already sounds nuts half the time. She laughed. That laugh? That's what I'm taking with me. I made 3 copies of the recording. 1 to my email. 1 to my sister. 1 to my lawyer. I'm not just leaving. I'm documenting. Because there's a difference between drama and defense. And if he wants to play games with my sanity, then he better pray I don't decide to go public. I've been erased long enough. Tomorrow, I become the one holding the pen. Final update. The worst part wasn't him reading the letter. It was knowing he wouldn't cry. I left at 6:12 a.m. carrying a single duffel and the soft, ugly truth that nothing I did ever made him see me as human. I left the house cleaner than it had ever been while I was too sick to stand. I folded the sheets on the guest bed, vacuumed the hall, even refilled the tea tin she liked. I wanted the silence to scream. I made it to my sister's by noon. She met me in the driveway with a blanket, not a question. I sat on her couch for 6 hours wrapped in fleece and broth and the knowledge that I was no longer a character in someone else's performance. He texted at 3:03 p.m. You're really blowing this out of proportion. Come back and we can talk like adults. I didn't reply. He followed with, my mom is heartbroken. You couldn't have waited until she left. Still nothing. Then, you think this is going to make you look good in court? There it was. The shift. The cold voice. Like a switch flipped. I forwarded the baby monitor recording to my lawyer. I haven't told you what was in the full audio yet. Not just manipulation. Not just legal planning. There was something else. The day before I left, she said, if you get her declared incompetent, you could refinance the house in your name. Start fresh. It's not like she's going to recover. He said, that's actually smart. That pause. That tone. I play it on repeat now, like a lullaby sung in reverse. The lawyer called it actionable. That's lawyer speak for, this could get ugly. But I'm not pursuing criminal charges. Not yet. That's not my power play. You want to know what is? I called his mom. I said I'd give her one chance to explain herself before I let my lawyer drag her into the affidavit. She stammered. Then she tried to turn it on me. Said I'd made it impossible to love me. I said, then it's a good thing I stopped needing to be lovable. Click. Now here's the ending. Or whatever you want to call this. He's still in the house. I gave it up. Gave up the couch I picked out, the walls I painted, the linen closet I once organized by scent. I let him keep the empty shell. Because my lawyer is building a case for long-term spousal support due to medical negligence and emotional abandonment. I have documentation, audio, statements from doctors, and a year of texts where I begged for help and he replied with sports memes. He thought I was weak. But the thing about chronic illness? It teaches you patience. And patience is a blade when you hold it long enough. I'm in a new apartment now. 1 bedroom. Quiet. Sparse. The windows are too big and the kitchen is too small, but it's mine. The first thing I bought was a new heating pad. The second was a lock. I changed my name on the lease. I stopped answering blocked numbers. I joined a support group for women who left their marriages mid-crisis, and we laugh sometimes, real, full-bodied laughs that feel like resurrection. He still messages me. Sometimes sweet. Sometimes cruel. Sometimes, like last night, you'll come crawling back when the world forgets you. I stared at the screen. Then I sent one sentence. I was already gone long before I left. And I blocked him. He can sit in that empty house with his mother whispering schemes into the walls and the smell of stale butter in the air. He can rehearse his little courtroom sob story. He can play his games. But I'm not the audience anymore. I'm the story. And in this version, the girl doesn't break. She documents. She vanishes. She heals in silence and haunts them forever.